Hi, I'm Kristen, a dating and relationship coach, and I help women to heal through the challenges in their relationships. And today I want to talk about how we push love away while we're looking for it. Sounds ironic, right? We say we want love, we're looking for love, we're out there dating, and yet we might be doing some things that are subtly or not so subtly pushing love away or putting barriers in the way of getting the love that we deeply want. So, I want to share today a couple of ways that we do this. And I know from my own experiences and from the clients and the friends that I have that this can be a sometimes subtle action that we take. Sometimes we notice that we're not doing things to put into action the goals that we want to take, but other times we might be actively doing things and pushing it away at the same time. So I want to talk about a little bit of both of those. So there are three main things that I want to bring up today. And the first one is what I'll call spiritual bypassing. So what that means is it's actually what it sounds like. Okay, I want a partner and it's not God's timing yet, or it's not in the cards right now, or it's going to happen when it's meant to happen. And what it does is it kind of takes us out of the responsibility of putting ourselves in a place to find love. And this can be true. I'm a spiritual person. I believe there is a timing and a plan to things. And yet sometimes what it can do is it can bypass something that we feel uncomfortable with and we don't want to take action towards because we might have fear, we might have discomfort come up, we might have some stuff we haven't quite dealt with yet, or grief. And so it's easier to sit back and say, well, it'll happen when it happens. And we sit at home and we watch Netflix and the world goes by and we're not quite putting ourselves in the places and posturing ourselves in the ways where we're open to receive new possibilities or invitations or connections in our social sphere that we might connect with someone who would be a match. The next thing is what I'll call gamifying the apps. And what do I mean by that? Well, these days we do a lot of online dating and each app is different, but what has happened is a lot of these apps have become a lot like a game because there's so many people out there. We have a lot of options. And while we can look like we're taking action towards finding someone to get into a relationship with, what can actually happen is we're in this process of it's becoming like a game, like swipe, 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 swipe. And so what that does is if we're already pre-aptitude towards being a little bit nervous around meeting someone, what can happen is we are using these apps as a way of looking at the next shiny object. Because there might be someone that we come across that has like a good job, they are shared values, they have a cool mission, they have things that they say that they on their profile that we respect. And yet when they take an interest in us, suddenly they're like, oh, they're not that attractive. And we can jump the next shiny object. What's the next one? And so we may not notice that we're overlooking some of these good options because we have this multitude of possibilities yet to come. And so the modern dating world and online dating can often facilitate that you're looking for love, and yet in some ways you might be overlooking or pushing away some possibilities that are good for you. And just to tag on to that, one of the things that happens underneath a lot of these things that I'm talking about is we are comfortable receiving love to the degree that we are willing to give it to ourselves. And so sometimes if we have someone suddenly take an interest in us on an app or we go out with them, we can suddenly feel a turn off happen because we are not ready to receive the level of love that they're interested or available for. And so that's another reason underneath what's going on with some of the ways that we interact in dating apps. And the third one is we mistake fear for our intuition. So sometimes this can happen if you've been out on many dates with guys and you're like, well, they're just not, I'm just not clicking or feeling it with any of these guys. sometimes we can feel like a bad feeling and think, oh, they're not for me. And I would ask you to question that. So if you're getting that like, and you kind of pull back and kind of like turn off, there could be a reason for that. There could be a red flag. There also could be, if it's a repeated pattern where you're just not falling for anyone, it could be that there's a fear coming up that's actually, you think it's your intuition saying next, but it actually could be, oh, there's something about this person that's, he's coming towards me, he's interested, he's stable, that there's a part of you that's a little bit afraid. If there's an available guy, I might have to risk rejecting him or being rejected. And so it's easier to just from the very beginning write it off as something that doesn't a good fit than to put yourself into the next step of going forward and just waiting and seeing, just giving it a little bit more time. And so you might find that, wow, this person surprised you. Maybe my first experience or reaction was a little bit off because I did have some fear come up. But the only way that you're going to be able to move through that fear is giving it more time, giving it more experience, really checking it out and figuring out, is it your fear or is it your intuition? You might have a way of identifying where's your intuition showing up, where's your fear showing up. If you have more ideas about that, I'd love to hear yours in the comments. And that is the last of the 3 ways that you could be pushing away love. If any of these are resonating with you, if you're like, yes, I may be doing that, and yet I'm not sure where it shows up or how it shows up, I would love to support you, whether that would be in our coaching session, one-on-one, or an upcoming women's group that I'm going to be hosting called Attract Your Best Match in 2021, where we'll be able to explore some of these patterns in a one-on-one setting, as well as in a group with other women who will be supportive and help you in a similar place on their journey. All right, my friends, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel below, click like if you like this video, and I will see you very soon for more content on this channel. Take care.